Before Europe rose, before Rome ruled, before the pyramids faded into history, Ethiopia already stood. This is the only African nation to have decisively defeated a colonial invasion, the home of humanity's oldest known ancestors, and a civilization whose continuous thread has never been broken. This is the evolution of Ethiopia, origin of humanity. Ethiopia is not just a country. In a very real sense, it is the birthplace of humanity. It was here, over 3.2 million years ago, that early hominins first walked upright across the Ethiopian highlands. The discovery of fossils like Australopithecus afarensis, famously known as Lucy, in the Afar region, fundamentally reshaped everything we thought we knew about the origins of our species. These ancient bones are a testament to a story that began long before the invention of borders or nations. From its very inception, Ethiopia was already shaping the human story, providing the very stage upon which our earliest ancestors took their first steps. It is a land woven into the fabric of our collective origin, a cradle from which all of humanity emerged. Long before written history, this was a place that was already defining who we are. Cushitic and Nilotic foundations. The earliest societies in Ethiopia were built upon sophisticated foundations of agriculture, pastoralism, and complex trade networks that crisscross the Horn of Africa. The region's first inhabitants, primarily Cushitic and Nilotic peoples, established the bedrock of its future. They shaped the diverse languages, intricate belief systems, and early forms of governance that would define the area for millennia to come. This ancient cultural mixing created a vibrant mosaic, making Ethiopia one of Africa's most linguistically and culturally diverse regions. These deep-rooted foundations were not merely a prelude to history, but were the very engine of civilization in this part of the world, fostering a unique identity that would endure through the ages. The Kingdom of Kingdom and Aksum. By the first millennium BC, Ethiopia had asserted itself as a formidable global trading power, a pivotal nexus connecting disparate corners of the ancient world. The Kingdom of Aksum rose to prominence, its influence stretching from the African interior to Arabia, India, and even the mighty Roman Empire. Aksum was a civilization of immense sophistication. It minted its own currency, a symbol of its economic autonomy, erected monumental architecture like the iconic obelisks that still pierce the sky, and commanded the lucrative commerce flowing through the Red Sea. In a transformative moment in the 4th century CE, King Izana of Aksum adopted Christianity as the state religion. This pivotal decision made Ethiopia one of the very first Christian nations on earth, forging an identity that would become central to its history for the next 1,700 years. Christianity, Islam, and sacred continuity. As the centuries unfolded, Ethiopia's Christianity evolved in remarkable isolation, preserving ancient liturgies, sacred texts, and traditions that had been lost elsewhere. This unique spiritual path allowed it to maintain a direct connection to the earliest forms of the faith. Simultaneously, Ethiopia demonstrated a profound capacity for religious coexistence. When the first followers of the Prophet Muhammad faced persecution in Mecca, they sought refuge in Aksum. This migration, remembered in Islamic history as the first Hijra, was a testament to the kingdom's tolerance. The Ethiopian king offered the Muslims protection, establishing a legacy of mutual respect. This history shaped Ethiopia's identity not as a land of religious conquest or replacement, but as one of sacred continuity, where different faiths could find sanctuary and coexist. Medieval Ethiopia and the Solomonic dynasty. Following the decline of Aksum, the Solomonic dynasty rose to power in the 13th century, claiming a direct and divine lineage from King Solomon of Israel and the legendary Queen of Sheba. This foundational myth, chronicled in the sacred text of the Kebra Nagast, Glory of Kings, became absolutely central to Ethiopian national and religious identity, legitimizing the monarchy for over 700 years. Throughout the medieval period, Ethiopia stood as a bastion of resilience. While many other kingdoms and empires across Africa rose and fell, Ethiopia resisted external domination, skillfully maintaining its trade routes, engaging in complex diplomacy with foreign powers, and sustaining its internal governance. It was a Christian island in a sea of change, a kingdom that not only survived, but thrived by holding fast to its unique heritage. Encounters with Europe and resistance. As European colonial ambitions began to sweep across Africa in the 19th century, Ethiopia responded not with submission, but with strategic adaptation. Under visionary leaders like Emperor Menelik II, the nation embarked on a calculated program of modernization, strengthening its military with contemporary weapons and refining its diplomatic course to navigate the treacherous geopolitics of the era. This foresight culminated in one of the most significant moments in modern African history. In 1896, at the Battle of Adwa, the Ethiopian army inflicted a stunning and decisive defeat on the invading Italian forces. Unlike almost every other part of the continent, Ethiopia was never successfully colonized. Adwa became a powerful symbol of African resistance and a beacon of hope for colonized peoples worldwide, proving that indigenous power could triumph over European imperialism. Haile Selassie and modernization. In the 20th century, Emperor Haile Selassie I continued this legacy of modernization. Seeking to propel Ethiopia onto the world stage, he expanded access to education, built critical infrastructure, and championed international diplomacy. His global stature was cemented in 1936 when he delivered a passionate and prophetic speech to the League of Nations, warning the world of the rising threat of fascism after Italy, under Mussolini, invaded his country. Though Ethiopia endured a brutal 5-year Italian occupation, the spirit of resistance never died. With the help of Allied forces, Ethiopian patriots prevailed, and sovereignty was fully restored in 1941. Haile Selassie's reign, though complex and contested, symbolized an era of Ethiopian pride and a determined push toward a modern future. Revolution and the Derg era. The ancient monarchy came to a dramatic end in 1974, when a military coup led by a committee known as the Derg toppled the emperor. The new regime imposed a radical socialist ideology, nationalizing all land, aligning Ethiopia with the Soviet bloc, and severing ties with the West. While the revolution was fueled by genuine calls for land reform and social equality, the Derg era descended into a period of extreme repression known as the Red Terror. The regime's policies, combined with devastating droughts, led to widespread famine and protracted civil wars. This brutal chapter left deep scars on the nation's psyche, and its legacy of conflict and political trauma continues to influence Ethiopian politics to this day. Federalism and the modern state. After the fall of the Derg regime in 1991, Ethiopia embarked on a new political experiment: ethnic federalism. The new constitution restructured the country into a federation of states based on ethno-linguistic identity, designed to grant greater autonomy to its diverse peoples and correct the historical dominance of the central government. This period ushered in an era of rapid economic growth, with Ethiopia becoming one of the fastest growing economies in the world. However, the federal system also created new fault lines, exacerbating ethnic tensions and competition for resources. The 21st century has been defined by a delicate balance between this remarkable development and ongoing political unrest, ethnic conflict, and powerful movements calling for democratic reform. Ethiopia in the 21st century. Today, Ethiopia stands as one of Africa's most populous nations and one of its fastest urbanizing societies, a dynamic giant at the heart of the Horn of Africa. Yet, it grapples with immense challenges. Deep-seated ethnic tensions continue to test the fabric of the nation, demanding urgent governance reforms and solutions to profound economic inequality. Despite these internal struggles, Ethiopia remains a crucial pillar of African geopolitics. As the host of the African Union headquarters in its capital, Addis Ababa, it plays an indispensable role in shaping the stability and future of the entire continent, a testament to its enduring historical significance. Ethiopia's cultural power. Beyond its political and economic weight, Ethiopia's cultural power is immeasurable. Its unique contributions from the discovery and global spread of coffee to its distinctive, soulful music, its ancient Ge'ez script, and its deeply rooted faith traditions have profoundly influenced Africa and the global diaspora. Ethiopia represents an unbroken chain of continuity, a powerful narrative of resistance, and a resilient identity that has adapted over millennia without being erased. It is a living civilization that defies simple categorization, a testament to the strength found in holding onto one's heritage while navigating the relentless currents of history. Summary: Ethiopia is not a relic frozen in the past. It is a nation in constant, dynamic evolution, from humanity's first tentative steps on its ancient highlands to the complex political transformations of the modern era. The story of Ethiopia challenges the very way history is often told. It is a narrative that originates in Africa, is shaped by Africans, and endures on its own terms. Ethiopia is Africa's oldest continuous civilization, the birthplace of humanity, a cradle of ancient Christianity, a symbol of resistance to colonization, and a modern state grappling with immense political complexity. This deep dive has explained how Ethiopia evolved across millennia, and it is precisely this rich, unbroken history that explains why it continues to shape the destiny of Africa today. Thank you for watching.